I'm not sure Liverpool need to get much better, Robbie. Liverpool we're going to now.
Well, don't say that to the manager. What? Every game after the game, Robbie tells us what they can get better on, which is again, got to love that.
Yeah,
the standards he's setting.
Just a quick line, then I'll throw it to you, Rob. I thought this was very comfortable for Liverpool. I thought the game was a little slow. Both played in the Champions League. Villa are obviously limping along a little bit at the moment, trying to handle the Premier League and the Champions League. And Liverpool showed what they've showed. Very strong defensively. Front players that are absolutely at their peak, whoever it is. Darwin Núñez gets his goal. Gakpo's been in great form. Luis Diaz started left. He had a little bit of stint at the front at the end. Of course, Mo Salah gets a lovely goal. Composed finish later, almost towards the end of the game to make it 2-0. They're purring along. I still feel that there is improvement in there. Is there anything... Well, first off, what did you think to the game, Rob, and how impressed were Liverpool or disappointed in Villa?
Not overly disappointed in Villa, although I think what everybody said and everybody's recognised it being in the two competitions is going to have its challenges. I thought it showed. These two things: the mix of the attacking intent options for Liverpool and the element of control and defensive structure that's now in place. Yeah. Those two things at both ends of the pitch have Liverpool in a really comfortable place. I kind of saw a line where somebody said about the personality of Slot. The big thing was, what was he going to like following Jurgen Klopp? And he's just very controlled of himself. And it's almost like his team have taken his personality to get him more control of. There was very little drama. I know Keller had a couple of saves to make. He's reacted well off one. He put one over the top, set piece, which we know from Villa. There wasn't a lot of drama outside of that, Rob, considering, they swung Duran on, they've got Ollie Watkins, they've got Morgan Rogers, they've got threats.
Rogers had a chance, didn't he? Rogers had a chance second half.
Yeah, he did have a chance. But I wrote down one of the things, Rob, in terms of the win. I thought there was a bit of old and a bit of new. I thought the bit of old was a bit of counter-attack, which was classic Jurgen Klopp from the corners.
Yeah, very
Speed
quick.
at the moment is incredible. I thought the control element is a bit of the new, the Slot. There's less risk, Rob. There's less drama. It never looked like it was going to be a 3-2 win for Liverpool. It always felt like, you say, at one goal, it was about getting the second, killing it off. Mo Salah is Mo Salah, does what he scores those assists in every game, it almost seems. And I thought it's just a credit that it's like a ticking along, purring nicely, but with more to come, Rob. I still think, one of my notes was, there's more to come from this team. They're not at peak. We're not at peak levels yet.
Yeah, I think we all look at it as well in terms of the title race and where they are on the league table right now. 5 points clear of Manchester City. They've got a couple of injuries, isn't it? It's Diogo Jota's out. Alisson, the goalkeeper, of course. I mean, Kevin Kelleher continues to look so good. So good. I mean, he's well protected in that Liverpool
incredible
goal.
For a number two, isn't it?
Really good.
To be able to rely on that.
Yeah, and our mate Tim Howard's sort of saying that he thinks this might be the last year you can keep hold of a goalkeeper like that, Rob. Like he's proven himself that
he's got to go, and
that he might really kind of start to demand something happens. Whether I don't know. It'd probably be leaving because they ain't going to leave Alisson out or whatever. But he's ready to play. He's going to be one of the better goalkeepers in the Premier League. Other than that, I guess we look at blips like, well, what can go wrong? And like you, there's a composure, there's a calmness about the team, the way that they play. It's absolutely obvious the way that many players in this team are improving. That's not even a consideration. You know what's funny, Rob? Before the game, I always write the numbers down on my teams going into a match, and we put the goals and assists on there. Trent Alexander-Arnold going into this game. 10 appearances, no goals, 1 assist, right? Now, that's average standard for a defender. But how good the team playing? You don't need Trent to be this.
Trent.
I mean, he's a different player this year, and I kind of enjoying what he's doing now. He still makes key passes. He still makes beautiful crossfield balls, and his quality in that. But he's not having to be the guy that makes all these assisting plays. It's different, and it's the strength of the team where he doesn't have to do that. He's much more cautious. His heat map is a lot closer to his own goal. It's a lot more narrow into his defenders. Similarly, Robertson played on the left. They got this funny little, narrow little shape, which is a slot thing. And that's just an example of the team being a really more efficient team and not have to kind of rely on, certain players. I mean, Mo Salah's. He's been so great, but the others have scored goals as well. I think the midfield is the only place, I've said it a few times, I thought it was another example, Rob, where still a bit, Curtis James was good, Szoboszlai comes on, and McAllister.
There's a bit of rotation there, Rob, though, which at times is keeping people on the toes to a certain degree.
Alexis McAllister's not done it yet. I mean, he's been fine. Not quite. But there's more to come from him.
That's where we think they can get better, aren't they? I mean, the top of the table, as you say, and I think they can get better. And I'm actually going to go to my underappreciated player of the week, mate. And I'm glad so far you've talked all about Liverpool and you haven't given him a mention. It's Ibrahim Konate.
Oh, yeah.
The big centre-back. Ibu, my friend.
Yeah. I did make a note of him, yeah.
He's, Virgil van Dijk's the beauty and Ibu's the beast, right? And he's very rarely talked of. He's very rarely appreciated, I think, in a defence that's looking super tight again, back to the best of Liverpool when they're difficult to break down. His raw physicality, speed, athleticism, defensive mind is a brilliant foil for Virgil van Dijk. When he gets into that right back his slot when Trent pushes forward, Rob,
which is less drama. Which is less than last year.
Yeah, or when there was the Matip's there, or Gomez plays, and you're always a little bit unsure whether they can deal with moving out a little bit to a wider areas. He deals with it, Rob. Massive threat from set pieces, good in both boxes. Looks like he's got a great personality. Every time I see social media, he looks like the players love him, and he's a big part of what they do. He's just one of those unsung heroes who could be a massive key if Liverpool are to go further and go close to winning title. That partnership with Van Dijk, my friend, could be every bit as important as Mo Salah's goals or Gravenberch's defensive role in front of him. And Ibrahim Konate, he's 25 years of age, French international, great age, great time. Looks like he's free of injuries, Rob, playing with a bit of belief and confidence now. And I just think, he's one of them who rarely gets a mention if we talk about Liverpool. I just thought yesterday, remember he went one-on-one with Morgan Rogers one time. Morgan Rogers went to run him about 20 minutes in, and he pushed it, and he just got there, mate, with real power and poise, and got the ball and dealt with it, and it was like, well played. That's what Liverpool also need. For all the good footballers and all the creativity, they need somebody at the back who just wants to defend and stop goals, and he is very much that guy.
Couldn't agree more. And another example of a player that was a little bit in and out with Jurgen Klopp. And I don't know how much of that was injuries, and that's why you make a good point when, if he can say injury-free, this is what you're going to get. If he play week in, week out, he has got the attributes to be a absolutely outstanding central defender alongside Virgil van Dijk. So that's definitely part of the story of Liverpool this year. It's definitely part of the new manager in terms of, trusting and having confidence in a defender. There's no question now what the best centre-backs are at this football club, where last year we didn't really know. It was Joe Gomez, sometimes it was Konate. Kwanzaa has done very well last year, which Jurgen Klopp really liked. But I love your shout. And, at the game now, Rob, when he does a good thing, you're starting to hear the crowd sing his name. Yeah. And so underappreciated up to a certain point, but all of a sudden it's starting to come through. And this is what we're discovering now. And this is why we do this podcast, because each week we have a bunch of extra data and evidence to kind of, City are this or Liverpool. So we're learning stuff all the time. And the more time's going on, the more that certain players within Liverpool Football Club are showing their improvement. And Ibrahim Konate is a good example. So, comfortable win for them, Rob. Bit disappointing for Villa. Just a quick line on them before we move on, because they have done really, really well. I thought Morgan Rogers was their outstanding player. Should have scored right after the break. Were they a little passive? So I know I just thought they looked a little tired, a little passive, a little like, we're losing here, but it's kind of.
It's difficult for them. I mean, they had a brilliant start to the season. They've had all the Champions League wins. They were going well in the league. I just think it's a case of to take that next step, to continue to be at that level, to be the Man Cities, the Liverpools, the Arsenals, it takes a step, Rob, and that sometimes takes a little bit of learning. It takes a little bit of maybe the manager tweaking, maybe a look at freshening things up now and then. Whether does he start Duran 1 week and put Watkins on the bench just to give it a different look and feel. He's got wide options. Buendia's coming back now, and people. So I just think it's a case of, this team have just about got used to being talked of as a top 6 team and being part of the Champions League. And I think it's almost understanding what that is week in and out and trying to deliver. I thought it was a bit of not a bad day, but I thought it was a bit of an off-colour day for Villa. Yeah. And I thought against a Liverpool team who are banging in confidence of what they're doing at the moment.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And if you want even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.